Bandon Bolden. What's up, champ?
Oh, what's up, man? Appreciate y'all having me.
Man, appreciate you being here, man. So let's jump in, man. Of course, in 21 you revealed your battle with cancer. In 2021 you revealed your battle with cancer in 2018. Now, how did you manage working through that and continuing to play at such a high level despite that type of adversity?
Um, to be honest, it was like family. And as all athletes, the people that we share the locker room, the field, the court, whatever, that's part of the family. So it was something that I was kind of going through. A few of my teammates knew, few of the coaches knew, and they helped me get through it because that was a tough time. You're dealing with something outside of football. You don't want to bring any distraction to the locker room, so you just kind of go about things, business being done. But those guys, and like that's just the football side of it. Outside of football, I had my kids and my wife at the time, stayed on me, making the right choices, trying to make sure that, this wasn't the end for me, and, make sure I was in high spirits, and they kept me going. So I had to keep going just for them and showing up for everybody that was showing up for me.
Absolutely. Now, take me through the day. Apparently you lost, control of feeling on the right side of your face. What was that day like? What I'm saying, walk me through that, especially playing, at this level, man, and being at, saying the top of your career. What goes through someone's mind when something like that happens?
Well, so when we went in for surgery, of course, doctor's going to play it small. It's like, yeah, we're just going to make a little incision and just going to get this off of the nerve, and, that'll be the end of it. So, waking up out of surgery, my wife's sitting up there crying. What's your problem? She's like, you was in surgery for 9 hours. It was supposed to be a 2-hour surgery. So where the cancer was like on the nerve endings of my face. So they had to cut out a piece of my skull to kind of get to it. So all this was kind of flipped up, and they had to work that nerve. And so, my wife, she's happy that I'm up and everything else, but she didn't tell me like everything was kind of drooping on this side. So I didn't see it until 2 days after surgery, when I was finally able to get out the bed and walk.
Yeah.
I was going to the bathroom and I caught a glimpse, and I was like, nah, I ain't see that. Use the bathroom and walk back out and looked at it again. I was like, bro, I look like Two-Face from Batman. Because I couldn't close this eye, I couldn't smile. Everything was just completely done. So had to get, you kind of could still see the scar. Had to get an aluminum plate to close my eyelid just so I could sleep properly. And, it was stuff like that. And it's funny now looking back at it. I remember days after surgery when I got home, me and my wife was watching TV, and she cracked a joke. She was sitting on this side of me, and I laughed, but you can't see the laugh. So she got upset with me. It was like, oh, so you don't find me funny anymore? And it's like, no. So I had to turn to her so she could see. It's like, baby, just one side of my face not working.
Yeah.
And my kids too, I taught them, keep light of any situation you in, and they kind of kept my spirits up. So they crack jokes and stuff about me all the time. And even now I'm still dealing with trying to get full function on my face. So like now it's like I'll start eating, and because I chew with my right side, this entire side of my face will just start sweating. And it's like, oh, is the food too spicy? It's like, no, just nerves waking up. This side is dry,
Okay.
So, still trying to work through that, but, everything has been great. The function that I do have now has been awesome. The NFL even went as far as to let me play in a dark visor, because I didn't want people seeing like I can't control this eye. Like sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. I can barely talk. Putting the mouthpiece in was probably like the hardest part at the beginning. But then after, I would say maybe about 8-9 weeks into the season, I was able to like at least get half a smile on this side. So it was a process. And like I said, the guys in New England, and at that time I was playing for Miami for that 1 year, all those guys together never brought any attention to, bro, your face don't work, or you got a crater on the side of your neck and it looked weird. They treated me the same. And, much respect and shout out to them for, getting me through that tough time, because it was something that was in the back of my mind, but because nobody else was paying attention to it, I didn't get a chance to pay attention to it either. So I was able to go out there and really concentrate on my family and football.
Yeah. Did it really impact your game when you were out there under those conditions?
Not necessarily. The most part, it was like hard to communicate, because And kind
Yeah.
of like talk like Rocky. It's like I only talk like this because I can't work this side of my face. So it's like I would kind of have to lean in, or if we had to communicate plays, especially on special teams, because we talk a lot.
Yeah.
That was like the hardest part. But then it came down to that. Actually, the head coach for the Saints now, Riz, he was a special team coach in Miami. So we developed hand signals for me to communicate with guys on the other side of the field, like, hey, this is what I'm about to do, and get things rolling like that. So, like I said, I had the support staff over that time period of my life was like phenomenal. And to be honest, I'll go do it all again if I had the same group of great
Man,
same.
that's an amazing story. Amazing story, bro. Especially when you consider, I know Randy Moss just recently hinted at his, personal health struggles that he's dealing with, and I know a lot of people were making light, of course, a lot of things trending on social media in terms of his eyes and what have you. Um, how does that impact your outlook on life as well as the game when something like that happens, especially when you're at the highest level when it
Right.
comes to performing like that? What goes through your mind there?
A lot. A lot goes through your mind, and there's a lot to try to, you try to allocate time to everything that you kind of been putting off. And in Randy's case, and in my case too, it was my health. I was putting so much in front of that to where once you get that type of information, like when I got that phone call and was like, yeah, we're going to officially diagnose you with cancer, that crushes your world. Especially like I haven't been looking into medical field stuff. When I was a child, when somebody had cancer, they wasn't around too much longer after that. And so in that process of thinking now is like, well, I got to make sure my kids got this. I got to make sure my wife got this. I got to let my mom, my brothers know they got, we got all this type of stuff set up. So it's all those little moments that you kind of glance over because there was a lot of other stuff going on. You make time for those things. And Bill Belichick had this thing. Once the season starts, and like once we get into November of the season, he would have a saying. It was like, I want everything that you have going on in your life, put it in a drawer. And once the season is over with, you open that drawer and you take care of everything on that list. By the time I got diagnosed with cancer, my drawer was so full of stuff to where I opened that drawer and I cleaned it out that off season going into it. And right before surgery, I had literally handled like the last piece of fan mail that I had. I had to call my grandmother that stays in Monroe, had to call her back because she was sick at the time as well. My grandmother was going through breast cancer, going through chemo and everything else. And so it's time for me to let all these people know how much I appreciate them and what they really mean to me. So like I said, it's like those little moments that you kind of like everybody kind of glance over, you cherish them, and it means that just that much more to you when you're going through stuff like this. So, shout out to Randy. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard, but you got fans, you got brothers in arms, and we all praying for you and wishing nothing but the best.